Hello and welcome to my latest live stream of WCW, Playing with the Big Boys. It's my TEW 2020 save, and we're kind of battling through our first month of pay-per-views, of television shows, to try and get to our first pay-per-view, which is Fall Brawl. So what I'm looking to do today is kind of go through a few bits, get through to the next episode of Nitro and book a little bit. I don't anticipate being on for ages because I do have to pick my kids up from school, which is a bit crackers. But hopefully going to start doing a few bits there where we can kind of move on and get a few bits sorted. So that's what I'm kind of excited to do. I'll see if that's any good, see what we get from this. Got quite a few plans for the actual pay-per-view, so I kind of want to get into it. Oh God, here we go. A bit of rivalry between Mike Tenay and Hulk Hogan has apparently sprung up recently, with the two no longer even being on speaking terms. Insiders say that money has played some part in the argument between the two, although it's not yet confirmed exactly what the issue that sparked the conflict was. Oh, Hulk. Oh dear. So I guess Hulk Hogan doing what he does best, making enemies there, which is not great news. Just have a look through the available articles here at the moment. Nothing particularly exciting other than that. So, oh yeah. Bid for Hunter Hearst Helmsley there. I've made a little bit of a cheeky bid for him, so we'll see how we go on there. Hulk Hogan and Mike Tenay have been having problems recently. Hulk. We have a bit of weird problems with the announcing, because I believe, Tony Schiavone and Mike Tenay don't have very good announcing. So if we look at our actual announcers, Mike Tenay is probably not going to be the biggest. Yeah, so Mike Tenay is our announcer for Nitro. For our actual pay-per-views, the announcer is Bischoff, Heenan and Rhodes. And for main event, we have Shivani, Macho Man's brother, and Dusty, which is my character. So we'll see how that goes. I'm not really sure massively if I'm going to be too bothered about Mike Tenay and Hulk Hogan disliking each other. Red Hill, excellent. Oh, look at this team as well. Look at this. We're all back. It's all got the band back together, chaps. So yeah, first suggestion here is fire Tenay. Probably firing Mike Tenay is probably gonna be the easiest solution to this, but I'm not too worried about Hulk and Tenay not liking each other. So Red Hill, been watching a load of your stuff lately, so that's really good. And Timo, absolutely excellent to see you all back. It's been ages since I've been online and done an actual live feed. So that's really good to see everyone back. That's really exciting stuff. So, like I say, we're going to just try and get through to our first episode of Nitro here and get some of that booked up, which would be really good. Let's have a look at... Should we have a look at the backstage to see if that's a major problem? Yeah, Hulk and Tenay don't like each other. Savage don't like Hulk. Savage and Miss Elizabeth, well, tough bananas, because she's going to do some stuff soon. So, hey-ho. These things are sent to test us, so we shall battle on with this. Tenay's not a particularly bad announcer, I don't think, for some weird reason on this. I'm not looking at Mike Tenay, looking at Mickey J. Mike Tenay, yeah, so his actual... Let's have a look at some of his skills. His actual, charisma, microphone, and your announcing, sort of all the stuff you want to look for is not that bad, so I don't really want to let him go, to be honest. But he's just incredibly unpopular at the moment, but, deal with it. Right, we'll move on. Hulk Hogan can make as many enemies as he wants. I don't care. So anyway, chaps, how have you been? What's been going on? Red Hill, I've been watching a lot of your shows. You seem to have an absolute ton in the book that I've been watching. So that's really good to see. I'm really enjoying a lot of those. There's some really interesting stuff going on in yours there. I think I mentioned it when we had the Curse of the 66. You seem to get a 66 rating for absolutely everything. So it was making me chuckle. WWF going on a spending spree. Oh, no. You've got a new series starting soon as well. Oh, hi, Richard. Richard Dusty Murray. Join me as Dusty Rhodes. Thank you very much for joining us as well. Yeah, Red Hill, what's your new series going to be on? Because I've been watching your Broken Heart WCW one. I'm still surprised with some of your ratings that I think some of the matches in the segments seem to be at really low ratings when you consider the amount of star power and quality in it. I think the game's just being mean to you for absolutely zero reason. So yeah, let's get through to Nitro. Let's see if we can get that booked. See if Hulk Hogan causes some. Oh, Richard. So you played Facebook Wrestler and Wrestler Unstoppable for a good number of years. Yeah, do you know what? If you've never played TEW, it's like a sort of boring spreadsheet for men that enjoy that kind of stuff. But if you like wrestling and you like numbers and figures, I think TEW is an absolutely fantastic game. I'm not going to turn around and say it's like the biggest, most bombastic game ever, but I enjoy it because I'm that kind of sad person that enjoys that sort of stuff. So you're up to episode 24, Red Hill. That's awesome. You're doing incredibly well with it. I'm really enjoying it. Anyone who hasn't checked it out, honestly, should check it out. I've got to place kind of away from the thing here. Oh, awesome. Look at all this. This is really good, guys. Everyone seems to be doing really well. This is great news. Oh, so here we go. Kamala has some major morale issues, and Kamala is in the last month of his contract. We don't care about that. Richard, I'm really glad you're enjoying this. This is good. Feel free to drop by it and watch any of the other bits because they're probably more interesting than me rambling on the lives. I get so easily distracted by just chatting to people on these. It's absolutely terrible at times. So, right, let's get into Nitro because I want to book this episode of Nitro because it's my last one before Fall Brawl. I've got to remind myself everything that's going on, but I think we're going to get there pretty soon with it. So, absent workers, that's going to be the usual. Oh, Chris Benoit is working for All Japan Pro Wrestling. Oh, shoot. So, Chris Benoit, is he going to be available for... Chris Benoit has left me for All Japan Wrestling, hasn't he? I need him to wrestle at Fall Brawl. Is he going to be around for that? WCW Fall Brawl. Oh, okay, so he should be around for Fall Brawl. Yeah, because I want Fall Brawl to have our boy Chris Benoit wrestling before he boogers off and deserts me, the turncoat. Anyway. And I think as well, when we was looking at it, I think the other absent worker is Dory Funk Jr. He's one of my many road agents I've got now. So not too worried about that. Although I would have preferred to see both of these. I thought Dory Funk would have probably prioritised ourselves, like WCW over New Japan, but hey-ho. I thought I'd signed him to an exclusive contract. Just a written one anyway, don't matter. That's not the biggest deal going on. So right, this episode of Nitro. I don't care where they book it. I've got no backstage incidents, so that's good. I thought that Hulk Hogan might have had a bit of a shouting match going on there. It's a bit of a tricky one, this, because we've got a few ends to tie up. So we've got Hulk Hogan is in his War Games match against Kevin Sullivan. So he needs to find two more teammates to actually wrestle with him and Lex Luger, but unfortunately he is not going to be able to find these. We've got the Four Horsemen, Ric Flair and Arn Anderson, are still looking out for someone else as well that they want to kind of join them. So I want to have a segment there. This is tricky because I'd like to have Hulk and Lex wrestle a match as they're obviously going to be tagging up, but the problem is they're not very good as a two-man team. They're kind of, it tells me their timing's all over the place. So maybe, do you know what? Let's go absolutely insane and we'll do a 3 versus 3 match. And what we'll do is we'll have Hulky Hogan, Lex Luger and Sting, because Sting's going to be quite involved. And what heels could they face this makes sense? I don't really want them wrestling any of the Dungeon of Doom or any of the or Arn Anderson and Ric Flair, really, because it's not going to be the one, is it? Oh, this is tricky now. Because so for this one, we want to really tell the story that pre-match, Ric Flair's going to kind of come in and allude to the idea that Lex Luger might be on the side of the Four Horsemen, but we're not quite sure yet. So, who's hiking the Horseman? What's that, Tyler? Joining. Oh, who's joining the Horsemen? Yeah. So who's joining the Four Horsemen is kind of like I'm not quite sure who we're going to put in there yet. I've got a few ideas of a couple of people I'd like to put in there, but not 100% sure who that's going to be quite at the moment. So we'll go on with that. So anyway, what I really need to do is the first thing how'd you get this game? Oh, so Richard, if you search for a company called Grey Dog Software, let me put it in the chat for you. Grey Dog Software. If you go on there, you'll find they sell a few different games, but TEW, so Total Extreme Wrestling 2020, is the most latest version. You can go on there. For playing stuff like WCW, you need to download the kind of they are the mods that people make for them. But if you go on the website and you actually go onto the forum, there's so much information on there. But yeah, you can pick it up on there. Really great game. I've been playing this for absolutely years. I think I started, I can't remember if it was 2016 or perhaps I started on one before that. But yeah, I've been playing for years and years, sort of on and off, and really enjoy it. So yeah, absolutely, Rich. I would very much suggest having a go with it. It's good fun. It's very kind of easygoing and quite laid back and quite creative, I find, at times anyway. So anyway, we need to book an angle. One of these, we're going to have a match, actually. We're going to have the Renegade is going to have a match, because I want to start. I'm pushing the Renegade. I think we all know I'm Team Renegade in this one. Hey, Chris, how are you? Awesome of you to join me, my friend. I've been very much enjoying your stuff. You've given me lots to think about. Yes, Richard, it's a digital download of a game. It's not a physical game. It's not available on Steam or anything like that, I don't think. So I think it's just literally a physical game that you get just from the Grey Dog website, maybe. I don't know. I literally bought this like 4 years ago now when it first came out. So yeah, dive in there. You should be able to sort it out from there. So yeah, Chris, awesome for you to join me. I've been really enjoying your stuff as well. Completely different way of doing it, making it looking really slick and nice, which I think is something we don't often see. Anyone who's not checked out your stuff, we don't often see that with kind of TEW saves. So really cool, really enjoying that. Who should the Renegade beat? He's going to beat someone and steal a little bit of pop off them. Perhaps VK Wall Street. Oh, no worries at all, Richard. I appreciate you joining. I appreciate anyone who's going to get involved and start playing the game. That's really cool stuff. I love that. So I can't have any of the Dungeon Doom in this match. Jake Roberts is not there as far as we're concerned. We've not seen him debut yet, so we're not worried about him. Eddie Guerrero, I want to kind of push, but I don't want him to lose the Renegade as a heel at the moment. I want to turn him face fairly soon, so there we go. He's too popular. Let's go VK Wall Street. Yeah, Red Hill, I agree. The 2005 version is like the older ones. I think 2016, I probably enjoyed playing more, but I think just because I knew how to almost game the system a little bit too much. It was a little bit, not easy, but I kind of cheated myself a little bit, I think, at times on that. So, you know, don't get me wrong, it's a really good game. I would, if I was going to suggest to anyone, go for 2020. Yeah, Timo, I think that the learning curve on it is kind of insane. And like, you know, I'm really terrible now. You probably watched me play this, and I randomly click around. And this is my biggest complaint about 2020, I guess, is you go around, you're just clicking stuff randomly to get to places. It's not as intuitive as it needs to be. So yeah, I think 2020, as far as gameplay and how it works, is better. The user interface, it got panned as soon as it came out, and it's never been quite great because you kind of have to click on weird things to get to different places. So it doesn't work in that sense so much. But Chris and Red Hill having a love in there. I'm loving this. I'm watching both your stuff, really enjoying it. So that's fantastic. Really, really good, guys, to sort of bring us all together. I don't see enough people doing live TW streams. The only people I do see doing it, I don't know. Click OK. The only people I do see doing it are Americans who do it at a time of day when I can't watch it, so I kind of struggle a little bit. So this is why I try and do a few during the day. to do something a bit more interesting. IRS, Mr. VK will get bromance indeed. I didn't want to say that because that sounded patronising, but that's exactly what was going through my mind. Wrestling friends. So yeah, I'm going to book the Renegade against VK Wall Street. I want to push the Renegade. I want to get him up the card, so I want to give him a title match here on the last Nitro. I don't really want to give him a lot of time though, because I don't think it'll be great. I am almost positive IRS is not going to be happy with this booking. Let's have a look. Once we tell him that he's going to lose to the Renegade. He's extremely unhappy. Yeah, I knew he would be. You know what? I'm pushing the Renegade to the moon. So unfortunately, a few of these guys are just going to have to be a little bit unhappy about this. So the Renegade is going to win. We are then... Oh, Red Hill. If you've not checked out Chris's stuff, it's a crazy mix of TEW... clips from live shows, WWE like 2K games, all put together as a kind of mashup in a show that makes it look a little bit more interesting. It's crazy and good, really good. I find watching TW videos sometimes a little bit boring. Quite a lot of the time, I just listen to them almost like a podcast because I don't think there's enough visual stuff going on, and I really want to change that on mine because I don't think they look jazzy enough. But Chris's one's really good, really outside the box, and something a little bit different to what we used to see, so that's great. So Chris Benoit challenged the Renegade for a match at Full Brawl. The Renegade is going to accept. Renegade accepts. Whoops. Chris Benoit's challenge. Now, sadly, as Chris Benoit is not here, he is not going to be able to even talk to us, so that is terrible. We're going to, we'll have the Renegade done on microphone because I like to keep these kind of a little bit realistic. Oh, Richard, so you're a special education teacher. That's really cool. My missus, she's deputy head at a primary school, so I know a lot about the teaching world. It's nice, and it's nice to open up your ideas. Do you know what? You might find yourself really enjoying TW. It's a kind of really cool yet geeky game. I really like it, so I can't talk highly enough of it. Do you know what? Let's put Mean Gene Oakland in there to kind of drag this up a little bit, give him a little bit there. So we're going to book that. So post-match, the Renegade is going to accept Chris Benoit's challenge. That's wasted 14 of my minutes, but I want to get the Renegade up that card. I'm going to pay VK Wall Street a boatload of cash after the match to kind of put a smile on his face, and hopefully it'll all be happy there. Yeah, so the main event, I really want to get Hulk Hogan. So we've got Hogan against the Dungeon of Doom in Full Brawl, and we're having Sting against Arn Anderson at Full Brawl. So I might put Hulk, Lex, and Sting together against just a randomly put together three jobbers. Not three jobbers, just three heels. So let's put that in. Let's have a look at this. So we have Hulk Hogan, Lex Luger and Sting. Absolutely insane levels of star power in there. So loving that. I don't want anyone who's in the Dungeon of Doom, and I don't want anyone who's in the Four Horsemen. So I can't have Flair, I can't have Anderson. So yeah, no Zodiac. VK Wall Street will get rid of already booked people because I don't want him in there. I don't want any super duper jobbers in there. Maybe should we just go with an insane team of like Eddie Guerrero, Dean Malenko, and someone else who's going to be a pretty half decent worker in there, just to do it? Or I stick the Blue Bloods in all the time because they're just a trio that it seems to work quite well. Let's do this. Let's put them against Dean Malenko, Eddie Guerrero, and I like Scott Norton. Should I give him a match? He's not normally around. He's normally too busy prattling around in New Japan. So yeah, let's just put a crazy. It's a WCW. The beauty of WCW is like 1995. The booking never made sense. So, oh no, Chris, feel free to derail my stream. I've absolutely got no problem with this. Let's share the TEW 2020 love. I could not champion both of your guys' channels any more than I do. I absolutely love everything you both do. I try and watch as many TW channels as I can, mainly because I kind of find it interesting in what people do. I like stealing ideas. I'm openly going to admit that. So more than happy for everyone to share the love and get involved. Plus, we get a lot of Americans playing this. We've got to support the British crowd on this one, haven't we? We've got to support the Brits. So Right, so in this one, awesome Red Hill. You'll really like it. Really check them out. Really check them out. The videos are excellent. So let's get Sting picking up the wing in this one. And we'll put Scotty Norton, my boy there. He can be the loser for it. So that's fine. So we're going to have that. And I think what we'll end it with... Oh, should I? Yeah. So we'll end it with an angle. With a big brawl between Hulk Hogan, Lex Luger, Sting, the Dungeon of Doom, and 4 Horsemen, leaving the faces laid out. So we're going to have Hulk Hogan. He's going to get battered here, so he can be ranked on selling. We're going to have Lexi Luger. He can be related on selling as well. Do you know what? Chris? I think that the hardest thing I find is like I do this live stream. I put the videos together, and I also do a written diary, mainly because I like the writing side of it, and I like to write out everything that's going on in the promos and whatnot, because I think it makes it easier, and it helps flesh it out in my mind. But I put that together as a written diary on the Grey Dog Software website. The one thing I'd say on there, and I've got no problem with people doing it, you just don't get a lot of interaction on there. And that's why I find, especially on the YouTube ones, it's just worth dropping a comment, because it's just nice to know that people are watching it and just give people an idea of what you're enjoying on it. Because, sometimes this can be a little bit faceless. It's nice to look at your stats and go, oh, we've had 2 hours watched today. I've had, 20 views or whatever. I'm not massively successful, but it's nice when someone, watches it, comments, and you can be like, oh, yeah, that's really good. I actually sort of, someone is watching it out there. So that's really good. So... we're going to have... This is going to be slightly different because we're going to have... And so we'll have Kevin Sullivan. He can come down and be rated on his entertainment because he's a kind of star. I need Ricky Flair. He can be done on that. I need Arnie Anderson. So, yeah, I think what will happen here... I've not got a lot of room. So what's going to happen in this one is teammate. It's really hard, isn't it? Because sometimes I just watch the videos and I sit there and watch it and I'm like, I've really enjoyed that, and then totally forget what I've watched, or totally forget just to put a comment on there. Or sometimes what I do is I'll just kind of go through them kind of quickly. Like I said, I watch a lot of these videos with just listening to it, because I don't feel you need to see a lot of what's going on TEW. So sometimes I kind of listen through to them and just go through episodes after episodes if I'm washing up or something like that. And it kind of looks like perhaps you're not as involved, but I am watching, and I do try and put a few comments as I can. So yeah, so what we're going to get here is the Dungeon of Doom and the 4 Horsemen are going to come down. Sting will chase off the 4 Horsemen, but leaving Hulk and Lex with the Dungeon of Doom. And we're going to have Kevin Sullivan. We're going to have the Giant, because we like the Giant, because he needs to get a bit of a push. I've got a few plans for him. And we need someone else who is going to be, I think, let me have a look at my roster. I need to work out. Chris. Yeah, do you know, this is what I do, because like in my mind I have an idea of quite often like the moments that they'll get in their promo, so I kind of write it out. I really like the creative side of it. I hate writing up matches, is what I find really difficult for written diaries, but I find it works a little bit better for me. I've got it here actually. I'll bust it out. I've got my nice little diary here where I write everything in. I do everything by hand and write it out, and I go through on Word to kind of type it up and just get an idea of what they're going to go along and do. So yeah, I quite like doing the written diaries. I think it kind of merges it all together a little bit, but sometimes it's not. They have some really good written diaries on there, so it's sometimes difficult to compete with the ones that have been around for ages. And sorry, I've been drinking Pepsi. This isn't a good idea, is it? I think you'll find, especially doing real world mods, you're not breaking the mold. You're not doing anything new. So quite often it takes a while to get that kind of regular following, I think, on there. So we we move, we keep trying, and keep doing things like that. So right, let's tidy up the writing of this. DOD. Oh, I like these. I like the freestyle angles that we can do on this now, but sometimes I get a little bit too sketchy with my details, and I need to be a little bit more concise. So, Dungeon of Doom, and for Horsemen, attack. Sting runs off the Horseman. Lex and Hulk left laid out. Well, Chris, I'll really bore you. I'm not. If only I was sponsored by the Pepsi, but I'm much more of a cherry Coke man. But unfortunately, that is all I've got in the fridge at the moment, and I could not be bothered to get anything else. So we go with that. So right, that is how we're going to end the show. So we've got our main event there, which is Hulk, Luger, and Sting are going to beat Dean Malenko, Eddie Guerrero, and Scott Norton. The Dungeon of Doom and the Four Horsemen are going to attack them. Sting runs off the Horsemen while Lex and Hulk are left laid out. You know, I'm so stupid in it. We'll change that around. Product placement, yeah, I see. I think if I don't start saying that, I'm not sponsored by him. If only I'd actually start making some pennies from doing this nonsense. It's really bad at it. So we've got that there. Oh, do you know what? I really wanted to get a sort of pre-match angle in as well. So we're going to get a pre-match angle of Hulk sees the Four Horsemen. Rick says anyone could be their next member. God, my typing's awful. He walks off and meets Lex and meets Lex and greets him. So what's going to happen, basically, pre-match is Ric Flair's going to be in the back. He's going to come up. Hulk Hogan's going to be like, oh, what you doing here, brother? Rick's going to kind of be like, oh, I'm just coming to see you, see how you're getting on. I know you're having some trouble with the Dungeon of Doom. I've still got some trouble myself. He's fighting Justin Thunder Liger at the next at Full Brawl. He's going to kind of go, and, you know, we're still on the lookout for someone else in the Four Horsemen, and absolutely anyone could be the next member. And as he says that, Lex Luger's going to come in, and Rick's going to be like, oh, Lex there, shake his hand, give him a big hug and walk off. Lex is going to look a little bit confused, and our man Hulk is going to be kind of like, oh, what's going on here? Is Lex that tight with old Rick here? So we're going to go with that. So we'll have Hulk there. This is going to... Do you know what? I'm not going to lie. I'm hoping that this should be a pretty high-rated show, because I'm throwing some absolutely massive stars into this one. We should I say, get some decent stuff going on there. So we've got that. That's kind of tying up a lot of our Dungeon of Doom and Four Horsemen kind of stuff. This is WCW 1995 booking, so quite a lot of it doesn't need to make sense. It sounds terrible when you say it like that, doesn't it? But a lot of it doesn't really need to make sense, because they just kind of book stuff. I don't also have a long enough show to kind of explain why things would happen, and WCW never did really at the time. They just kind of threw matches out there and were like, hey, just enjoy this. So we're going to do that. As far as storylines go, so we've got Hogan versus the Dungeon of Doom. We've got Ric Flair versus Sting in the house that Flair built. That's going to be a really big storyline going on there. The tag team titles, we've got every one of the tag teams in there. The Renegades covered there. The madness of Macho Man. Diamond Dallas Page challenged Macho Man at the last episode of Main Event, sort of saying, oh, why'd you keep going on at the Diamond Doll? She doesn't need your help, because Macho Man's going kind of crazy. He's going, yeah, she don't need your help. So yeah, excellent. That's kind of tied up my main points that I want to get in for this show. So what have we got left? We've got 16 more minutes. Oh, wow, absolutely bugger all to book. Who else have we got left that we can have a match with? Because I need some matches. Chris, yeah, Mike Tenay and Tony Schiavone not working together. I mean, like, they're two of the least inoffensive commentators ever that spent years and years together. I was absolutely baffled when that cropped up on there. I just could not believe it. So, and the fact now Hulk Hogan apparently hates Mike Tenay. I mean, it's not good news for poor old Mickey T, is it? But so Who can we throw into a match? I have got Justin Thunder Liger. He's going to be wrestling at Full Brawl against Ric Flair. I've only got Justin for two appearances, which is a bit of a shame. I'd like to try and get him in for a bit longer. So I might look if I could bring him in, because I think he'd be quite a fun character to muck around with. But perhaps because he's going to be fighting Ric Flair, we could do with just giving him a little bit of a momentum boost. And this is so bad. I'm aware that I've got VK Wall Street against Renegade, and I've also got Hogan, and I've got two faces victories. I do like to balance things out and have a little bit of negativity in there to kind of throw us a curveball. I've got my tag team match that could do with a bit of bumping up. I know, it's so hard. And, Red Hill, I find, you talk about, like, they're just a bunch of stats. This is where I find it really hard sometimes with, like, Chris Benoit, who's obviously someone I've got on my roster. It's like, it still just feels uncomfortable bringing him up, even though he's just essentially a load of letters and numbers on this game. It's nothing too cool, but... Dustin, best story mod you use? So the mod I'm using here, do you know what? I can't even remember what mod it is. Let me see if I can find out. I don't think I can at this point, can I? Can I find out what mod I'm using? So this is where I'm basically just making it up as I go along, really. Yeah, and this is weird. You look at some guys, and then... Sorry, but guys like... I've got people like sort of Dean Malenko. He's like really steady in the ring, but it's like... Sometimes I find in TEW, ones just sort of stagnate with, like, they never get that kind of... Never get the kind of charisma and stuff that they need to kind of push on to the next level, which in kind of real life they did. Like, Malenko kind of hit on decent stuff, but then I guess like kind of like 51 as that is kind of decent. So yeah, essentially, Chris, I thought Mike Tenay is just the least offensive commentator you could find. I thought he would just be as smooth as silk next to anyone, but yeah, Red Hill, I'm with you as well as far as the mods go. There's absolutely millions of them. I think if you go on the there's a website called TEW Database, isn't there? TWDB, I think it is. They've got ones that date back to like the 1900s. I mean, I've got absolutely zero clue about what wrestlers were knocking about then, quite frankly. So it was a weird time. So right, let's get back to my booking. Who needs a bit of a push? So I'm gonna have. Let's get DDP a match. If we do a tag team match, just a random tag team match, we might be able to find something there. So we're going to include already booked. Let's just get heels. Who can I have as a team there? DDP. Richard, you used the one from like 1900s. Oh man, hats off to you, because I have absolutely zero clue on what half of all that stuff is. It baffles me going back that far. So not my kind of stuff, really. There's not a really lot of options. You know what? We'll put Diamond Dallas Page and Brian Pillman in a match. Yeah, I'm finding that with William Regal. William Regal's like, obviously his stats are absolutely insane on this, because we all know he's an absolute superstar, but his popularity isn't great. But he's like putting in like 81 performances for matches. He's like, mate, slow yourself down. Like, I want to push you, but you're 27 and you're literally out wrestling everyone on my bloody roster. I can't, I haven't got a place for you for that. So, do you know what? Let's give a win for the Dungeon of Doom tag team, because we're gonna have the Shark. John Tenter's going to be in a match against all of the Hulk, Lex, and his two mystery partners who have yet to appear, but we shall hopefully get that soon. So who we can have? Let's have Meng, because Meng's going to wrestle in it as well. So, and who's some faces they can fight? Don't really no big superstars. Don't want to get them against complete jobbers. Road Warrior Hulk. Actually, I want to get rid of him fairly soon, so he might be a good one to. Could just job him out to the Beastie Boys, to the Nasty Boys. So, yeah, let's do that. The Nasty Boys are faces at the moment in this, so we'll give them. Let's keep it fairly short, and we'll get Tenter to get the win, and we'll make this storytelling, because we need to have a storytelling match, and this can be kind of just telling us what's going on there. So. Oh, did I just not save that? What a plank. yeah, I love William Regal, and obviously I'm English myself, so I want him to do well, which is a big help that we kind of do that. I want to push Regal quite heavily because I've got an idea for what I want to do with him, but he's probably a little bit ahead of where I wanted him at this moment in time, which is fine, but yeah, difficult in some respects. So, right, so we've got 6 minutes. That feels like, and the fans are expecting around a show of 65, and I've got, do you know, look at that, I'm perfectly within that. It feels like we should start with some sort of promo, doesn't it? Paul Orndorff is like my on-screen, on-screen authority figure. Yeah, I'm like ready. Oh, so ready. I thought you meant you were using the 1900s mod, like going back to these guys that were doing, you know, like catchers catch can sort of stuff back, strongman competitions. I was like, yeah, you know, each their own. Mental, not my bag at all. So I think we've had a lot going on there. And do you know what? We'll get Paul Orndorff, because Paul Orndorff is Mr. Wonderful. He's going to come out and get rated on the microphone, and he's going to give us some. Do you know what? He'll just confirm the booking of Scotty Riggs, Marcus Bagwell, Dirty Dick Slater, and who's the other guy? I can't remember the other tag team title champion. Bunkhouse Buck, isn't it? Yeah, of course. He's going to get the binned off because he's useless. He's going to be rated on entertainment because this is just going to bomb anyway to start the show. Mr. Wonderful announces. Oh, Red Hill. Oh, we're still having issues with like my chat here that's going on. Like I don't know what's going on. I went through and I reconnected. I feel like David Brent. Reconnected all my stuffs. So it was like I had to unconnect and had to delete everything and had to reconnect all the things because I thought that might be affecting my chat. So I'll have a look at that because that's getting a bit frustrating. I'm using Streamlabs to do this. I don't really know about streaming. This is only like one of the few times I've done it. So I'm obviously only still a bit of a novice. But yeah, we'll try and work that one out. So tag 4 Raw. Excellent. Now you can do that. And Marcus Bagwell, they'll be really happy about that. And Jim Duggan's a part of that group as well, so he can be rated on that as well. And that can open the show. So there we go. And we can give a match a little bit longer. So I think we'll give Hulk a couple of minutes. We'll give... the Renegade can have another minute as well. Yeah, I know VK Wall Street, happy, but, deal with it. So what have we got going on here? Let's get some pre-show matches in. See if we can get some people booked a little bit stronger. DDP can get himself a win. I know that for a fact. Who better than Canyon? Chris Canyon. DDP can win that one. Book. If it helps, I can definitely see them. Tyler plays piano. He can see them. So I can definitely see what you're saying. It's hard because it's, I'm not going to know what I'm not seeing. So I'm going to keep at this and see if there's anything going on that's kind of messing it up because it's not working out as I want it to. So, Joe, let's stick the Blue Bloods in a tag match. And maybe they can face some half-decent people. Oh, God. No dearth of talent there, isn't it? Do you know what? I'm not too worried about the Blue Bloods getting much of a push at the moment. What was you saying? Anything outrageously like offensive or something, or Chris Benoit for the Hall of Fame, that sort of stuff, and that's why the chat is just ignoring it. Oh. I don't think I've got anything blocking anything on the chat or anything like that. Or maybe I do. Perhaps I need to have a look at these settings. Perhaps I've got it set up so it doesn't kind of work properly. But I'll have a look into that though for you, Red Hill, because I appreciate everyone spending their time. Maybe because I'm typing a website. I don't know. So I'm not much of an expert on YouTube. So I'm kind of making it up as I go along. But I'll have to check on all of my settings and things like that. See if there's any reason I might be ruining it for people. So. Oh, that's worked. I can see that. BeTheBooker.net. There you go. Yeah, I think we'd all kind of know about that. Oh, not the Steiners. They're not meant to appear yet. Let's give Mongo. Should we let Mongo have a win? Let's do that. Sorry, I'm just rattling through. So I get too excited for this. I need to pick my kids up from school. That's annoying, isn't it? Yeah, perhaps it's the link for websites doesn't work. Perhaps that's how it doesn't. I don't know. I don't go into enough chats on this to understand. But yep, that's come through loud and clear, mates. I'm happy with that. Do you know what Mongo can beat? Prince Robert of Brookside. We'll make that short because no one wants to watch Mongo wrestle for that long, do they? So Mongo, and let's put him as calm the crowd or something. Yeah, let's do that just before the show starts. Oh no, I can't. Oh yeah. Two-factor authenticated. Chris, you're just clearly not trustworthy, mate. Look at it. They see your face and think, no, you're not the man for this one, are you? So clearly not that trustworthy on it. So I like that. Yeah, I don't understand how the comments work. If people wanted to put links in there, I've got absolutely zero problem if they want to. So maybe there's something that's preventing that. I'll have to have a double check on that one, but I'll have a look on that one. So yeah, I think I've kind of got all my booking of Nitro here. As I think a few of you have joined me in the past. I guess it doesn't do that. I guess don't type links. Do you know what? Let me have a look. Let's see if I can do it. BeTheBooker.net. www.BeTheBooker.net. Yeah, I mean, I seem to. It just doesn't. I mean, obviously, it doesn't come up as a hyperlink, but there we go. Clearly the chat. Probably because it is my chat. It probably lets me do what I want. I am the king of the chat. So I don't know what it is. Do you know what? I'll have a double check on my settings because there might be something that's saying that there that is preventing people from doing it. Honestly, if people want to add links and stuff, I've got absolutely zero problem with it. So I'll have a double check on that one. So, right, as we go here, I've finished up my episode of Nitro here. As a few of you have joined me before, I don't go through these live. I tend to record these for the actual videos because that makes it a little bit tidier. And I don't think everyone wants to watch me prattle on lives for like an hour going through these. Some people prefer the little condensed version of the show. So I might have to wrap things up here for the moment. What I will say, absolutely fantastic. So many people joining me, and I'm really pleased that I've got people joining me whose actual stuff I'm watching, like, Red Hill Chris. I'm watching all of your stuff and going through it, so it's really nice, and I really like sharing ideas and coming up with stuff, which I think works really well. I've got some really, really good plans for the Full Brawl pay-per-view. I'm going to steal some of Chris's ideas of making it look a little bit prettier, so I want my actual video to look a little bit more snazzy than just the regular ones, so I'm going to try and compete with that. Ooh, fingers crossed. Red Hill, been watching yours, really enjoying all that. So yeah, really big thanks, guys, for joining me. I'm hoping to get this one recorded. Then I might be back online tomorrow to finish off the next main event. If not, I'll hopefully see you all really soon, and I will definitely be in the comments on some of your videos to say hi and let you know what I'm enjoying and what ideas of yours I'm going to steal and just basically put into my own show, because that's all I ever do, is just nick other people's ideas, really, and try and pretend that I know what I'm doing. But no, seriously, thank you so much for joining me, guys. And until next time, I will see you all very, very soon. Bye.